the first few minutes of Christmas Eve in Palestine, the Israeli occupation forces began storming the town of Bethlehem, the birthplace of Christ. Al Jazeera just reported this. This isn't abnormal. They storm the West Bank and occupy Jerusalem every night, especially since October 7th. So why would it be any different on Christmas Eve, right? Actually, they tend to do things with such cruelty like that intentionally. In Gaza, that cruelty is easier to find than a drink of water. On Friday, Al Jazeera's Anas al-Sharif in Gaza started uncovering just how terrifying, horrifying, words can't even describe what happened in Jabalia camp in northern Gaza was after the IOF pulled out after besieging the area for 20 days. He reported that IOF bulldozers ran over several pregnant women who were on their way to Al-Awda hospital in Jabalia, ripping their bellies and leading to their martyrdom. An eyewitness said, "Next to us is Al-Awda maternity hospital only. Both of these women buried under the rubble were coming to the hospital. One of their husbands is also here under the rubble. The IOF bulldozers came, ran over them, and killed them all. Here they are. Here is one body, and here is the other. And here are the bodies of 2 other pregnant women as well. They killed them without mercy. They had white flags raised. The bulldozers ran over them, and then they were shot. They killed all of them." In Al-Awda, medical workers have also been assassinated or abducted by the IOF in the dozens during the siege. Atrocities were documented in the Tal el-Zatar area after the 3-week-long siege. While the IOF tried to advance in the area before their retreat, this is with their tanks and all their machinery and everything, right? They're retreating because even though they had claimed weeks ago that they had captured northern Gaza, that they had pushed the resistance out, this is not true. We've been seeing so many deaths. The Israeli occupation forces have been losing so many soldiers, and it's guerrilla warfare, so it's not a traditional symmetrical battle where you capture so much territory, especially when the resistance has tunnels that go under all of the city. Just earlier today, the Israeli occupation forces announced that Hamas's tunnels are 5 to 6 times longer than they first anticipated, and Hamas still has full operation over all of their tunnels. And you have to remember that Hamas already knew their tunnels, how they were laid out. They knew their city more than the Israelis, right? And the Israelis have bombed. There's all this rubble around. If you look up the Battle of Stalingrad in World War II, the USSR and the Nazis, and you see how the Nazis bombed the shit out of Stalingrad, thinking that that would give them the advantage. But what that did is it made the terrain even harder for the tanks that the Nazis had to navigate, for them to map out the city, whereas the resistance understood their own city, and they used the rubble and they used the ruins as cover and as a tactical advantage, and the resistance has been doing exactly that. We've seen that the Israeli army, I think over a month ago, they called the resistance fighters ghosts. They had a technique of ambushing Israeli soldiers by emerging from partially destroyed building columns. All that to say, the Israeli occupation forces, they don't have North Gaza. They haven't captured any territory. That's why they're pulling out of this area that they've besieged for 20 days. So while the IOF was trying still to advance before their retreat, they bulldozed the nearby Indonesian hospital. They bulldozed the Indonesian hospital and entire streets, leading to widespread destruction. Dozens of martyrs remain on the streets and in every location. Schools and buildings in the vicinity of the hospital have been destroyed, making it virtually inhospitable. What has been documented by cameras is only a small part of the daily Zionist crimes being carried out against men, women, children, medical crews, journalists, and the Palestinian people. If you'd like more coverage on the resistance, I cover it on my Telegram. It is not censored. I'm able to go into depth. The URL is in my profile. I also have the video from Jabalia camp of the scene and the pregnant women martyrs. Viewer discretion, highly advised, but it is accessible there. It's in Arabic, but there's translations.